At the Kingsley house, mornings looked perfect, but sounded heavy. Before the sun lifted its face, Amanda was already awake, sweeping marble floors that didn't need sweeping, polishing handles that already shone. The house was beautiful, a garden trimmed like a crown, 2 cars sleeping in a neat driveway, flowers posing for the light. But beauty can be a mask, and masks do not love. Madam Kingsley's voice rang out, smooth and proud. "Amanda, don't forget the veranda and polish the car handles. I like them to sparkle." Her husband's voice tried to rise. "She will be late to school, my dear." Madam answered softly, but the softness cut like glass. "Then she should learn early how to be useful." Amanda lowered her head. Even the cat, Milo, seemed to understand. He brushed against her legs, purring where words had failed. Inside that grand house, love had lost its voice. Sometimes, Madam sent her to the market alone. Not because she had to, but because she could. Amanda held the notes tightly, counting under her breath like a prayer. But prayers sometimes slip through frightened fingers. The coins fell. She searched the ground as the crowd moved like a wiver around a drowning girl. Tears gathered in her small eyes. "No, please, where is it? I lost it." She walked home in fear, her heart beating faster than her feet. When she confessed, the house went silent. Then came Madame's voice, refined yet furious. "You lost my money? You ungrateful girl?" The helper laughed from the corner. "No dinner for you tonight," Madame said. "And fetch water for the tanks, since you enjoy running errands." That evening, a rich man's house looked poorer than ever. Amanda carried 2 heavy buckets across a polished compound, past the shiny cars, past the smiling flowers, like a servant in a story that forgot her name. Some houses are rich with things, and poor with love. The next morning, Madame decided to take Amanda to the supermarket. Not to help, but to humiliate her. She laughed loudly as they walked through the aisles, her voice sharp and proud. "Look at my little helper," she said for strangers to hear. "I'm training her to be responsible." Amanda walked quietly beside her, holding the shopping basket, her clean clothes glowing softly under the store lights. But instead of laughing, people smiled kindly. An elderly woman waved and said, "What a polite young girl." A man by the counter nodded warmly. "She's doing well." Amanda smiled shyly and waved back. Her eyes, bold, blue and innocent, glimmered with quiet pride. Mrs. Kingsley's laughter faded. The more Amanda smiled, the colder Madam's face became. She had expected mockery, but instead found herself invisible. Outshone by her girl she meant to shame. For the rest of the shopping trip, Mrs. Kingsley wore a long, tight-lipped expression, her silk robe rustling as she walked. The people weren't laughing at Amanda. They were admiring her calmness, her grace, her quiet dignity. And in that moment, for the first time, cruelty looked small and kindness looked beautiful. Kemi's voice was always the first to call out. "Amanda, sit here. I kept a seat for you." Ada smiled softly. "You look tired again." And Rosemary slid her lunchbox across the desk. "Eat with us," she whispered. Amanda smiled, the kind of smile that carried both gratitude and exhaustion. Then the teacher's voice filled the classroom. "Is Amanda here yet?" A chorus of voices replied, "Not yet." The teacher looked at the clock and asked, "Amanda here?" "No." "Then we wait. 5 more minutes." When home gave her tears, school gave her 5 minutes of waiting. 5 quiet minutes that felt like 5 acres of love. One afternoon, the headmistress decided that silence was no longer kindness. She visited the Kingsley home herself. "Madam Kingsley," she said firmly, "your stepdaughter is gifted, but she is exhausted." "She needs rest," Madam answered with her polite poison. "Oh, she loves housework. I keep her busy." The headmistress stood her ground. "Amanda belongs in class, not in chores." Truth, when spoken, burns the tongue of lies. That night, Amanda sat by her window, holding a tiny locket that once rested over her mother's heart. "Mama," she whispered, "I'm tired, but I won't break. I'll make you proud." Milo curled beside her, purring softly. Outside, the garden slept. Inside, a girl learned to dream without permission. One morning, the gate would not open. Not by accident. Madame's calm voice carried through the window. "Oh, the key? Perhaps you should have woken earlier." Amanda stood there, trapped, clutching her books. But friendship has feet. Kemi, Adane, and Rosemary ran down the street calling her name. At school, the teacher looked at the clock. 5 more minutes, he said. "We wait." And she came, breathless, smiling. She wrote. She passed. She conquered. Sometimes victory arrives with a late heartbeat and still counts. Dinner time in the Kingsley home was never peaceful. There were no knives on the table, but words were sharper. "You live under my roof, you eat my food, and still you frown," Madam said. Her husband sighed. "Please, let's eat in peace." Madam's voice rose, smooth and cruel. "Peace? Not with ungrateful people." Amanda ate in silence and learned to swallow without tasting. One afternoon, her teacher found her cleaning the classroom after everyone had gone. The woman knelt beside her. "Amanda," she said softly, "I can't fix your house, but I can fight for your future. When you are late, we will wait. When you are hungry, we will share. When you are tired, we will remind you why you started." Amanda's voice trembled. "Thank you, Ma." Sometimes, one sentence becomes a staircase. Many homes shine outside, yet hide darkness inside. Some women forget that the child they punish is someone's answered prayer. To every mother-in-law and every stepmother, treat the child under your roof as your own. What you plant in them will one day bloom before the world. No orchestra played when Amanda topped her class. Just hands clapping like small miracles. "Best in class," the principal said. Her father's eyes filled with tears. Madam Kingsley smiled for the cameras, but the smile never touched her heart. That night, Amanda opened a wooden box her late mother had left behind. Inside were a few pieces of jewelry and a sealed letter. Her mother's voice seemed to rise from the page. "My daughter, if life becomes too heavy, remember, I saved for your tomorrow. Use it wisely. I never left you." Amanda held the letter against her heart. "Mama," she whispered, "thank you. Treasure is money, but treasure is also faith." Years passed. A new gate opened. This time, the gate of a great university. Amanda walked across the campus with the sun on her shoulders and books in her arms. Her hands, once used for chores, learned to heal. Pain had taught her empathy. Study gave it wings. One day, a white coat, a hospital, a child's small hand in hers. "You'll be fine, sweetheart," she said gently. "I promise." She became what she needed, and she gave it away. Her father came to visit. "I failed you, Amanda," he said. She smiled. "You didn't fail, Papa. You were tired. Rest now." Forgiveness is a language stronger than blood. Even Milo the cat found her again. Older, slower, still sure of his heart. He curled on her lap as he always had. Some loyalties do not age.
When fear surrounds and hope feels thin, when doubt creeps in like a flood within, you raise a banner over me, a shield unseen but strong and free. You stand before my enemies with eyes of fire and endless peace. Jesus, my defender, strong and true, fighting every battle I walk through. You silence lies, you break the chains, you cover me with mercy's flame. I don't stand alone, I never did. Jesus, my defender, my closest friend. Defender, my fight for mine eternally. I'm not just rescued, I'm held and led by Jesus, my defender, who rose from the dead.